China now is the largest share of world trade, a largest amount of capital flows outside. So it competes effectively.
I want to be clear in making that from my getting to know the leaders, and I don't know Xi, but I know those around them, that they are reasonable people. And there's going to be a change in leadership that we're going to see on Sunday. And you're going to, in my opinion, you're going to bring reasonable people into that. There's a culture, there's that. And then there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of problems. So let me rattle off the uncertainties and the problems that are temporary, that could be temporary, but they could be longer lasting. The first is they have a debt crisis that, in my opinion, they've allowed to go too far into the bones of the economy. So it's affecting local governments, it's affecting financial institutions. It starts with real estate. Real estate is 25% of their economy approximately, and then the majority of savings. So it has a wealth effect, it has a negative, and it's passing through the system. So that's one. Second is that there's this question of, are they still in favor of free enterprise and the market system, and what does common prosperity mean, and so on. Quite a lot of confusion regarding that. From my operating there, they don't want to mess with that system very much. She doesn't, because when they did some things like shutting down some of the tech companies because they want to break up the minority, these large companies, they also did minority things. Anyway, so let me go number 3, COVID. Okay, number 4 is demographics. Okay, demographics is particularly important in China because of the culture in China as well as the one-child policy. You know, for the family takes care of the family. And so the tradition is that the children take care of the adults in old age. They don't have a well-developed pension system. And so what happens is with the one-child policy, a husband and wife has 4 parents that they have to take care of. The system can't deal with that. And so that's a main thing. It relates to COVID. You know, they have something like 350 million people over 65. So if they don't deal with it. So we have COVID. So you have a number of these problems. You have a climate problem and a water problem in China. So China's got a lot of those problems to deal with. But the real question, and we all can have problems, the real question is, where is that beacon? Is that beacon, and we're going to learn more about that based on who's appointed to what jobs and also what statements are made. Is that beacon continuing to do the things that raise productivity and inventiveness and so on? So we're going to learn more. But I think that as far as investing in China, China is the, if you take certain industries, it's main competitor, but it neither should know, in my opinion, not. You have to have a certain amount in China. I think the longer term picture in China is still bright because I know the people and I know the culture and I think it's good, but they have major issues now.
China now is the largest share of world trade, a largest amount of capital flows outside. So it competes effectively. I started going to China in 1984 and have a very close, intimate understanding of it. I've developed close relationships. I know the policymakers. Since I started going to China, its per capita income has increased by 26 times. Its average life expectancy has increased by 10 years. Its poverty rate, meaning people in hunger, has fallen from 88% to less than 1%. And even in bad times, it's growing at a faster rate than developed countries. We would like to grow at that rate. And it has a per capita income, it has a population which is more than 4 times the size of the American population. And and if it had a per capita income, which was half the U.S., it would be twice the size. So there is no doubt that it is a competitor, a significant competitor that's growing faster and is likely to be, in most respects, larger. So at these times, when we look at these 5 types of wars or conflicts that we have, which is a trade war, a technology war, a geopolitical influence war, a capital war, and a military war. In those respects, it's roughly comparable. It's growing at a faster rate, so it is very likely to be a dominant, one of the great viable competitive powers in the world, and probably more so with time. India stacks up as a country in which one of the most important indicators is the cost of an intelligent person, a cost of an educated person. That's a very good leading indicator. And India stacks up very well in that regard. And its levels of indebtedness, which is another important indicator, is in comparison to other countries relatively good. These are 2 important indicators. The general level of education and infrastructure and internal conflict and so on are areas of greater concern. So and so is the element of the bureaucracy. It's a very it's a country that probably will have the highest growth rate over the next 10 years. We project it to have the highest growth rate of any country over the next 10 years because of the advantages of that, those things that I mentioned. And then to the extent that there is improvements in those, which it looks like there are improvements underway, then India's outlook looks very good.
Ray Dalio is an inspiring billionaire investor, hedge fund manager, and philanthropist. He is the founder of Bridgewater Associates, the world's largest hedge fund, which he started in 1975. He has been widely recognized for his innovative investment strategies, which have earned him a reputation as one of the world's greatest investors. He is also an advocate of the principles he developed, which are a set of unique and practical life and business principles. He has an impressive track record of success, having founded Bridgewater Associates in 1975. Since then, he has grown the company to a staggering $160 billion in assets under management. Ray Dalio has been widely recognized for his innovative investment strategies, which have earned him a reputation as one of the world's greatest investors. Ray Dalio is an incredibly inspiring figure. He has been widely recognized for his innovative investment strategies, which have earned him a reputation as one of the world's greatest investors. He is a staunch believer in the power of open communication, meritocracy, and radical transparency. He believes in the power of principles and has written several books on the topic, offering valuable insights into how to succeed in life and business. Ray Dalio's life story is truly inspiring. He is an incredible role model and an inspiration to us all. He reminds us of the power of hard work and dedication, and that with the right mindset, anything is possible.